Anyone wants to type in the box, feel free. Thank you all for joining. So basically, as you can see, my topic is social anxiety killing. And right now I'm in downtown Toronto. First of all, I want to say the impact that anxiety can have, especially for men in particular. So, if you're suffering anxiety and then you're first of all giving a speech, right? Like in school, giving a speech, I would have it all memorized, and all of a sudden stage fright or whatever, boom. And there are medications for that, like propranolol supposedly, but they can like make your heartbeat all messed up and so on. So there's that. In terms of impacts to my own personal thing, it's like basically how I would put it. It's like essentially, let's suppose that for your average person, the pain level or the stress level in terms of asking out a stranger, let's say it's like 10,000 or something, right? Versus like an average person, let's say it's 5,000. So based on that, like long story short, it just takes a lot more out of me in general. Just based on normal, assuming no momentum, assuming it's just the start of the day. With momentum and with friends is a whole different ballgame. Like being with a friend is essentially it's like raises your social status as well as your mood. It can boost a lot of things, especially if you're down. And then on top of that, if you were to be shut down, then at least being with a buddy, it kind of that's the whole point of like a wingman, right? Where you can be out with someone and they might not even be the most social person themselves. They might not have like the best mood. But the fact that you're out with someone, your own social status it's already going to be that I'm not a loser or something like that, basically. Poggers. Unfortunately, I'm new to that term. So, Pogger, POG means play of the game in Overwatch. I don't know what Poggers is. Honestly, I'll have to look that up after. Sorry for being stupid, but Orphan, hope you're doing well today. Yeah, I'm just trying to spread some positive vibes. So, yeah, overall, there's a lot of anxiety I've had throughout my lifetime, and it's held me back, especially as a man, in terms of asking a stranger out on a date, for example. That's like pretty much like the main one there, and it's not specifically hard for the certain, like just doing it in general, but the resiliency of it, like especially if you're picky, and then you finally I'm in like a busy area as well, but the thing is, especially if you're picky, the chances, long story short, let's say I talk to 200 people who will take forever to meet them, by the way, because I'm picky as fuck. But besides that, even if I did talk to them, which I have, during COVID, surprisingly, after pulling myself together, finding whatever medication works and so on and so forth, plus battling the tolerance of those, I finally asked out around 200 girls, went on 3 dates, for example, right? And one of them, it turns out, age-wise, I wasn't exactly the best fit for her, because she was 18 or I don't know, something. And before we even met up, she's like, "Oh, can you buy me some weed?" And I'm not trying to buy weed for this girl. First of all, I don't know her. And even before we meet up, she's sounding all materialistic, "Oh, buy me weed before we hang out." Or another girl in the past is like, "Oh, can you buy me a pack of cigarettes?" And this is before we even meet up. It's like, "Yeah, we can hang out, but you got to buy me a pack of cigarettes," or "You got to do this." You know what I mean? So it's very gold diggery behavior that's possible. Now, overall, compared to online dating, in person is way more effective. I'll give you credit for that one. So, in person is just more effective in terms of not being catfished. First of all. You can see the person's mood right away, and you got to ask yourself, what kind of person do I want to be with? And if I want to be with a really good-looking girl, I'm 5'7". I'm not I'm the hottest guy ever, right? I'm 5'7". I'm wearing some shoes, maybe 5'8" or some shit like that. Who knows? And there are some pretty cool ones, by the way. But that's for a different. I don't know if I can see. What the hell? Oh wait, I'm gonna put them forward. There you go. But yeah. So yeah, I think it all comes to momentum as well, right? So your social momentum, if you're just staying at home all day playing video games, which a lot of Twitch people do, like Pokimane, do you really think your social momentum is going to be any good? So for that, what I do is I have an app called Pacer that tracks my steps, and then I can know, did I even leave the fucking house that day? And especially for someone with anxiety, you want to know, like, have I left the house? Did I not leave the house? Has it been 5 days since I left the house? Has it been 10? And they leave the house for just 5 minutes and then say, oh my gosh, I'm scared of like this world and whatever, and people judging me that I'm not even going to stay out for that long, which some people can get like as well. So, and you're right, service, Peter Olson, service in person is good. I don't know what you mean service, but yeah, in person is definitely the best that you could do, right, in terms of meeting people, because you can see them, like their vibe, like, you know, can she make me laugh, ha ha ha, like is she have the same sense of humor as me, so I can quickly test them, right? Like sometimes I could do like an accent, like a southern, like I just want to say, I reckon that you look like the most mighty fine girl I've seen all day. I reckon this one time I looked into the sun, I reckon, you know what I mean? And some people, like afterwards, they'll be like, oh, I love your accent. Some people can just stick to themselves and not care, right? So, I mean, overall, I'm just trying to spread some positive vibes here. So, you know, this guy just passed by me with a shirt that says, find what moves you. And what moves me is helping people kill anxiety, the thing that's hurt me so much in my life. And I used to coach people within there. I was forced into retirement for a reason I'm not going to get into. But yeah, I used to be like $250 for 3 hours or $560 for 15 hours, something like that back then when I would coach. And I'm not really I didn't even really need like that much money at the time, although my salary was around like $45K back then. Now I'm making more. And now it's more for just a job that actually feels like a passion. Like it doesn't feel like work to do this job, right? So if you could be paid to do something, I'll tell you guys this in terms of finding your life purpose as well, right? It's just like, think of the one area in your life where you've suffered so much and you kind of know your stuff because you're maybe the underdog in that category, right? And you might not be the best in the world at fighting this one thing, but the fact that you're fighting it, you are like a specialist on it, right? Like, for example, I'm naturally really good at fixing a computer software side, right? And that's something that I'm good at. And on the hardware side, I suck. But in terms of passion, another thing, I tried to start like a cleaning service many years back, and I had this girl from high school, some Filipino lady who worked for a cleaning company. And the thing is, I could have made that business, like I could have made it #1 rank on Google and kept putting my time into that. But I'm not about, I don't really care about cleaning, right? It's not like, yay, I'm gonna help this person's place get cleaned and it's gonna change their life forever, right? Like life doesn't work like that, where, you know, just someone's place cleaned, like that value that you provide to them, I mean, sure, it's great, like maybe if they're lazy or they're handicapped or something, but I mean, if they have the money for it, why not, right? But personally, I feel like coaching someone to achieve their actual goals, or even finding out what that goal is a big difference. Like, so I had coached one guy, he's from the military, and he overall, like in terms of life coaching, he was just spending so much time with that job that his girlfriend cheated on him. And, you know, it's like, on top of that, he doesn't have as many friends because he's always working. So I worked with all different kinds of people, and I feel like overall, you know, the social aspects, like there's more to talking to a girl than just, oh, hey, do you want to go out sometime, right? There's like your look, like do you feel good that day? Like, you can compare your mood on a scale of 1 to 10, put on your best outfit ever. Like this one accentuates my arms, my tattoo, or I can put on like some loose t-shirt. And one of them is self-expression, and the second one is just like self-suppression, right? And which one do you want to be, right? So overall, as a guy, like I will mention again, social anxiety is like a big handicap, especially if you're picky. It can take, like you'll have a number, like let's say 200 people that you have to talk to, but really it can be like 2,000 realistically in terms of meeting the one or something, or even like beyond 2,000. And like, you know, not everyone is down to meet their stranger on the street, or even at a bar or club. People will assume that, oh, this guy's just a player, he just wants sex, and maybe they want it too. And you can go from a hookup to a date, for example, right? But there are many different ways. And so today I started off, and there was like, first of all, I had my headphones in, music blasting, and then there's some attractive girl. And unfortunately for me, I kind of tapped out on that one. And I normally would beat myself up and it would just ruin the whole day. But told myself, you know what, the next thing I'm just gonna start, well, I asked myself, what can I do that's sort of like a rejection to like help me? And there are things like, where you have like the theme of embarrassment, right? So if I were to do something like talking to a bird or something like that, right? So once you face that embarrassment yourself, like, hey bird, oh, you're the only bird around here, like whatever, right? And so if I face something like that, I love your shirt, by the way. Space Jam, Michael Jordan is awesome in it. Okay. So yeah, I mean, facing that is another factor as well. Excuse me, I saw you earlier. Just want to say your eyes and hair are super amazing and have a great day. Welcome. So, you know, I was talking to some girl and she was a bit young. She was like 16 or something, and I'm 32. So now you guys are probably gonna assume things about me. But the thing is, so she told me that her dad had passed away, and out of empathy, I offered to buy her a coffee or a tea or something, because like her dad passed away, like something to take her mind off it. And I told her, you know, I don't know the person, like could have been an abusive dad, you never know, right? But I told her, I'm sure he probably would have wanted you to live your life purpose, and, you know, not let your whole life be all like, oh, like for years and years, like, oh, my dad passed away, and then you lose your life. Just like, you don't want to live like that, right? So resiliency is another factor as well. So anyways, so after that first one so there's like some couple, and I was just like, hey, you guys are a cute couple, and they could have given me a weird look, but out of respect or whatever, they're like, oh, thank you, by the way. And then there was like a guy in a suit and some girl in some sort of like work attire, and I was like, hey, you guys look fashionable today. And like the guy gave me a thumbs up at least, you know, because there are some people, they're all snobby and they're like, oh, why is this guy even talking to me? And like, I'm killing the, you know, like compared to staying at home, playing video games, staring at my ceiling on antidepressants, it's better, right? So Peter, Ulson, and Orphan, I don't know if you guys are still there, but yeah, you can type if you have any commentary on what I've said there. I like your tattoo, by the way. It's nice. Yours. And I'm gonna get into like what's the difference between today and a regular day, because there's definitely some sort of like God mode thing going on today. I don't know what it is, but I think it could have been because I worked out recently. I did some abs and 35-pound barbell or dumbbell. So I did a nice slow movement and whatever, and I got some pumps going here and there. I don't know if you guys can even see that, but I do got some. Can't even flex because one hand's holding the phone. But yeah, so I think another thing that happened is just psychologically, like one guy was like, oh, let's hang out later today. And he was a bit further, so we decided against it. But, you know, just like I felt kind of cool because the fact is this guy wanted to hang out with me versus, you know, like one of my best friends, ironically, I have been fighting through that. He's been in his own world, and he's just trying to work on quit being a male stripper, and he's trying to get into coaching others in a similar way as myself. But he definitely needs to do it a lot more, as you can imagine. Like, so certain industries are not about that life, you know, where you, like, especially when you're younger, you might get tempted to do like porn or to do whatever for the money, right? Like working at like massage parlor, or I don't know, like people going advertising themselves on Craigslist for sex or whatever for Leo List for sex, right? And there's all different kinds of people out there, right? So yeah, anyways, long story short, it's like me and me against the world for now. And I have a few other people I could theoretically hang out with, but I'm just doing myself. And this has actually been really therapeutic to just talk it out sometimes. And I don't know if anyone else is, do I have any, I can't really see them viewers too much, but I'm gonna try something here. I flip that thing down first. See if it's there for a minute yet. This is a beautiful view here, as you can see. That's a pretty nice like area, I guess. And you could see, like, I don't know if you guys could see that, but there's actually like a pretty huge crowd around. It's not like a whole concert, but there are a lot of people out, which, you know, some people another one of my buddies was like, oh yeah, we can go to a bar sometime after COVID. It's like, bruh, after COVID is basically never. So you guys have to like change your freaking mentality to, you know, like after COVID, if someone tells you, oh, let's hang out after COVID, that means like you're gonna hang out never, essentially. So you gotta evolve, you gotta just get used to the fact that, you know, COVID will be around for a while. It's your choice, you know, if you wanna
getting around it. That's the truth.
do what you gotta do, right?
If you like watching pornography on the internet and watching different people do things to each other,
hold on, before
that's
we do
disgusting. That says something about who you are. You're disgusting in the sight of God.
that, see,
But
this
you
is
can,
called
there's
the
hope
Young
for you.
Dundas Square.
God can
Youth
change
Center.
your heart. God can
Popular
heal your
area,
mind.
but-
God can give you His Spirit and sanctify you. That means to make you holy by His power. Jesus Christ died on the cross for those sins. He died on the cross for people who are liars or people who are
Now, another thing I want to talk about is just the whole concept of social anxiety itself. You know, I'm gonna go this way. Social anxiety itself, and especially momentum, for example, is like a big topic as well, right? And some people have said like, oh, I have like Asperger's, or I'm like socially awkward or whatever. But the fact is, you got to work with what you're given, right? Like my voice. Like at least 3 different people have said that my voice sounds gay or stupid or whatever, and you know, everyone can hate, but I own it. Like I am who I am, and the guy said it in such a way that basically, oh, I'm basically voice fishing instead of like catfishing. It's like I'm voice fishing the girl that like, oh, it's like such a bad voice, but I am who I am, right? And like I can put on a different like, hey, sup girl, let me holler at you. Do you want to play a game with my penis? You know what I mean? Like I can just do all that too, but I'm not trying to be fake. And when you live your genuine self, you're really like, your mind's not going to be more comfortable, right? Because your mind can predict like, am I going to be successful or not, right? So for example, in my areas of life, like I have a decent job right now, I'm happy with that. I'm single, right? And so if I stay at home all day playing video games, maybe I could be really good at Mortal Kombat, for example, and stream it, and maybe I'll get some viewers. I mean, I streamed even that Rogue Company game, which is a new game. It's cool, right? Now, what was my point again? So streaming, etc. And yeah, I mean, overall, there's like so many things that you could potentially do, but your own, your life purpose, the thing that you were put on this earth to do, is the main thing, right? Like, you literally, when you're working towards your life purpose, you get a high up. It's literally like a drug. You get this huge comfort that, you know what, I hit the gym today, I'm fat, and I'm making my way towards that progress. And the thing is, that progress can take some time, right? And that's fine. So you have to get towards like a glimmer of hope, that especially resiliency and that glimmer of hope is like a big factor, right? Because if you look at it, like, you know, for example, it's just like trying to get jacked, for example, right? It's like, oh my gosh, these protein shakes are gonna mess up my stomach. Oh, I worked so hard for this 1 week, but I'm not seeing the results. And the thing is, you'd have to have that resiliency, especially you have to recognize your prime, right? Like, I mean, I'm 32 now, and gonna eventually have some fucking gray hair, right? So you can either work out now or work out, like, would you rather be hot now and in shape now, or be in shape when you're 50 and you realize, fuck, I probably should have worked out more, right? So now it's like your golden opportunity. Like, I'm sure even if you're 35, whatever, you still have some prime left in you, and especially for the single people out there. If you're in a relationship, then congrats. Hopefully you're not kind of holding yourself back from breaking up. But yeah, that's all I can say about that. Like, you know how sometimes you just get stuck and go with the flow, and you don't even want to have sex with a girl, you just want to go for movies with them or something. And that's just a factor that's just the fact that you're not really attracted to them in that way. Excuse me, real quick, you have really beautiful eyes, and have a great day. Just want to say.
Gold shoes.
Oh, thank you, bro. Appreciate it. They're a bit busted up, but you know, I appreciate it anyways. Thank you. Yeah. See, and now I just got some positive vibes in return. Someone's like, those shoes. And as you can see, I don't know if I'll be able to show it. Can I show it like this? Will that work? Yep. So you can see these are like E-wings. They're pretty decent. Which is you know, it's nice. That's like some instant karma of nice people out there, which is good. And yeah, so like I said, in person is good. And if you guys have never talked to someone before, the whole way that they supposedly teach or whatever, it's like you start with like an observational statement, like, so you're not like out of nowhere. So it's like, excuse me, I noticed you standing over there and I really loved your sense of style. Or don't just use the same line, like try to make it like more specific to the person. But if you were to just, you know, sometimes they say like, I knew from the moment I met her that she was the one. And, you know, like, if you want to be that kind of guy who, like, you're possibly the one, you got to be in a good mood, too, you know? Have some fun, say some jokes that you would normally say. I mean, not, like, anything offensive or anything, but something that you enjoy, right? So, overall, I mean, I stay pretty fit. I don't know if you guys can tell there, but, you know, look at those steel-plated triceps. Okay. Is this backward? Oh, okay. Oops. Whoa.
Fuck you!
What is
Come back! I want you to come back! See what happens! Fucking pig!
Okay, so what am I going to show you guys now? Fuck, let me flip this shit and show it all around. I'll trigger another little guy. So there's that as well. Now, if you've never, like I said about this whole in-person thing, right? So if you've never, how do I say this? If you're not really used to talking to strangers, like some girls are really, really insecure. And like one girl, I was on a date with her and she got uncomfortable when I was like asking people for a bar or like, I don't know, some shit like that. And it's like, or when I would like, oh no, you know what I did? I was just like running beside her and she was uncomfortable by that, even though like we were literally on a date together. Because apparently for her, doing anything outside from walking and being a robot is awkward, right? And clearly there's a personality sync. Then if there's a mismatch, if you guys don't sync up, then maybe it's not meant to be. But also opposites attract, right? So there could be a shy girl and maybe I get her out of her shell and change her life and like evolve her. And then all of a sudden she's like, you know what, this guy, like, you know, bringing people up and providing something. Like a lot of people, when I ask them on a date or something, has happened where, especially in club district and drunk people, they'll be like, what do you have to offer? And, you know, maybe I'm not the tallest guy or the richest guy, although I do. Anyways, let's not go there. But, you know, I do have things I offer and bringing people up, making their day. And, like, some guys actually need to be taught how to be sweet, which is unfortunate. But when you're out of the dating game, I guess it can happen that way where they can't do any romantic surprises, or they have to like literally Google like how to surprise your girlfriend, or I don't know, some shit like that. So there's that. And not everyone is going to be receptive in the same kind of energy that you are, right? So, you know, there's two girls outside of one bar a few minutes ago, which you guys probably heard, where I complimented one and I was like, yeah, have a great day, whatever. And so I could just sense that maybe, you know, my beard could have been done up, but my barber's out of town. So there's that, right? Like they can judge you. And if I was like 6'9" or whatever her ideal type is, 7'9", if I was like taller, then people would probably have girls would have a lot more respect when you compliment them. But even if a not as attractive person compliments me, like I'm not a douchebag myself, so at least I'll like be respectful and kind about it, right? You know, the nicest rejection I ever got, a girl's like, I have a boyfriend, but I would totally date you if I didn't. And that's like probably the nicest rejection I've ever gotten into my entire life. Or, you know, other people will be encouraging and they'll say, keep at it. Or if I say like something smooth, like we have this popular street like Queen Street West or something, and I was like, despite living downtown, I'd be like, excuse me, do you know where Queen Street West is? Like, it's like asking the obvious, right? And so people will be like, oh yeah, it's over there. Like, you're literally there, duh. And I'll be like, yeah, I'm just joking, I live around here. And then, you know, people told me you should do that again, because it's creative, I suppose, right? And yeah, I feel like the more you're able to, in the split-second moment, like make your decisions of what you're going to do to fight against your anxiety, that's the better, right? It's like, I can't even think of a good analogy. It's like, for example, you're waiting for a bathroom stall. I mean, that's kind of mean, but whatever. Analogy, right? It's like you're waiting for a bathroom stall, and is the stall available or not, right? Like, you know, if you're really patient and you don't like pull every single door, you won't know like what's open or not, right? So it's like you have to check all the stalls or whatever, right? And well, it's a lot different with dating. I can't think of a better analogy right now, but I guess it's like just essentially, how do I say this? It's like you have those scratch tickets, and if you don't play, you don't win, right? And so you got to play, obviously, right? You can send your, you know, the whole manifestation and the universe. You can send out your good energy to the world and stuff, but if you don't play, you're not going to win. Like, I won 2 TVs and a speaker system in one contest. How did I do that? Well, I just entered. I was like, fuck it. And I was moving to a new place, and I just envisioned that, you know what? Yeah, I'm living in my new place now with my beautiful TV. And like, it's like assuming, and somehow the universe provided, right? And another time, I won't get into the details, but I was going somewhere and I was like, today's the day I meet my girlfriend. And I did certain things that would like imply that I'm going to have success. I'll say that much. And it actually kind of manifested, which is nice to have, right? Okay, I'm gonna end this, I think. Well, actually, I don't know. Fuck. I don't know if you guys are still there. Let me see. Is anyone still in the room, or it doesn't really show me here? Okay, you know what? I'll end it for now and I'll continue in a second.